talking about alcohol, like you would. That was your first like rebellious thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. When was that?
I was 15.
15 when you
Yes,
started.
when I had my first drink, and it was like whiskey.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to
Was
my
there alcohol in your house?
No.
Oh,
No,
so your
no,
family, nobody.
No. Well, my dad he used to drink, but not in the house.
What about you? Was there alcohol in your house?
Beer. My dad was a beer, and sometimes as kids he would let us drink like the little last sip of beer. But then I think when we joined the church, it was harder to get. But alcohol was not prohibited in the organization. And in fact, there was a guy who had like a deal with a local liquor store, and he would get the good deal on beers and stuff.
Right.
And then more so it was around, but like cocktails and stuff, I don't remember too much of that. But now my mom and dad have this beautiful bar with full bottles of stuff, and
That was.
and my dad's a big
parents.
wine guy. He really likes wine. Well, he was. I don't know if he's. Yeah, I think he
likes
started
good
getting
wine
into
and
wine.
stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, there's beer around and stuff. And then when I left in Minnesota. They have THC drinks, which is really fun, like in beer bottles and cans. But instead of alcohol, it's THC. And I had an extra one last time I was there, and I left it in their fridge. So maybe they'll try it. No,
Did
I
you
don't know.
try it? As a
Oh, I drink it all the time when I get there. It's not cheap, but I just drink 1 or 2. It's either like 5 milligrams of THC or 10. So I get the 10s, and then even at restaurants and stuff, they offer them now. In addition, yeah, it's like
In Minnesota?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so THC
They don't
is
have
legal.
them here.
No.
Do you think they have? They must.
I don't think so. I would
don't
love
think
for them
so.
to have them here, but
The SQDC would have to sell them, but maybe. I mean,
maybe
restaurants. can
Ontario has
buy-
them.
Yeah.
And then my sister has a cool one that looks like gin. And you could do little shots, so you can do like cocktails, but with THC instead of alcohol.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a brave new world.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers,
Ladies,
Yay.
hi.
Hi, exactly.
Can we highlight that today is 555, and today's the actual birthday of our queen over here.
Ah,
Happy
the 50th.
birthday!
50th.
Five, a lot of fives.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
5 and 7 were my favorite numbers as a kid. 5575 was my birthday. I always, even before I was into like numerology, not that I'm into numerology, but I always loved that was my birthday. I thought that was pretty cool. 5-5, Cinco de Mayo,
Oh yeah, that too.
Cinco de Mayo.
Wow, a lot of things.
Yeah, so we're doing things a little different today. We're
Yeah,
gonna.
that's why.
Night
We
time.
so we got some snacks.
Gonna get trashed.
And you're gonna drive home.
I'm gonna drive.
and then we're gonna
uh,
record from
on-
prison jail.
You're gonna bail me out tomorrow.
I'm rolling you guys
yeah,
some.
what do we got?
Look at
Some
this
pretty-
beautiful
This is
pre-rolled.
gorgeous. Yeah.
I usually roll very well, though, just for the record.
What do you want me to hold your microphone or what
No,
are you
you
doing?
guys can talk while I'm rolling. I'm just introducing
but
my
you're
activity.
holding the microphone while you're rolling.
No, I'm not
Okay.
rolling right now. I'm
Okay.
presenting what I'm doing.
I don't know.
You
I'm
guys should
such
you
a
take this act
noob.
on the road.
I'm not a very big. I just consume. I don't do any of this stuff. I don't know how to roll a
I don't know roll
joint.
either.
I think I rolled 1 or 2 joints in my life. That's
Okay.
it, and they looked like.
They're all like
Like
bumpy and
nothing.
lumpy. Yes.
Yeah,
You're
Yeah.
an expert.
I would like to think so.
Yeah, you do. You do
But,
perfect.
Yeah, these
one.
pre-rolls. Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, I don't know how to roll either. This is the idea. It was just like, oh, I just had to just stuff them. I can do that.
I just love the paper and the color, and because it's a special occasion, and it's the first time that we're gonna be getting high and putting it on the
record.
internet.
Getting right.
Might as well be classy
Yeah,
about
just,
it.
Mm.
So I'll be rolling. You guys could talk amongst.
So we're doing legal stuff.
Okay, sorry. There was alcohol.
Well, I used to go to my sister's house. She was married, and her husband and my sister used to drink as well. So, and I would sneak and take some of their. But her husband knew that I used to drink, and they had a party, and he used to sneak, give me like some Coke with some, and I was drunk.
Coke too?
No. Coca-Cola. Like whiskey Coke. And I was drinking it, and everybody's like having fun. And I was like, "Ugh," and he was like, "What's wrong with her?" I'm just drunk, and nobody knows that I'm drunk. They think I'm just being silly.
So that was 15.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
too,
around
too many degrees.
Well, no, I think I started, maybe like 15, 16, 16, 17. Yeah, I was drinking whiskey. Oh my God, that's rough. Like, it's not something that I enjoy. Just because it was mixed with Coke.
So was this, I don't know how to answer this.
What?
Was this guy inappropriate with you in other ways too?
Yes,
Oh,
that's the guy.
that's the guy. So yeah, maybe the liquor was part of the.
No, well, it was part of the. I don't know.
Or
I don't know. Hypocrisy.
Tell me about your drunk.
Oh, I have Tourette's. Just screaming hypocrisy.
Your Tourette's is one word.
We used to have a lady from our family who had Tourette's. And well, yes, she used to come and visit us. She was an older lady, like in her late 60s or something. And she would sit and talk, and at some point she starts saying really bad words, like she's cursing. But we got used to her because that's her. And she would say like really curse, like stuff like "fuck this shit" or something in Arabic. And we're like 8, 9, and we just got this late. In the beginning, at some point, I just heard, and she's like, she had tics with her shoulders, and that was rough.
That's a wild disorder,
That's-
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's rough.
It's rough because she's just talking normally, and it just catches her, and she's like, yeah, she's cursing the whole family.
I think I have partial Tourette's.
You?
You know what I mean? That'd be a great
Yeah.
excuse to get out of any.
Yeah.
I said what? Oh, it's my Tourette's.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to write.
Yes, let's just pretend to have to
Get my Tourette's card ready to go.
Yeah, and then I started drinking. I was not a heavy drinker, but like I was drinking like with my friends. We go to clubs and stuff, and we'll buy a bottle of vodka or something, and then we share it.
But alcohol was easily available because, like,
In Morocco, yeah,
in Dubai, it's not right.
it is.
But did you say it's only available like in hotels where Westerners
Yeah,
are?
but you can go and buy it
Okay.
if you're a non-Muslim. You get a card.
Some non-Muslim card.
Yeah, because when you the thing is with but like in Dubai
Pay
when you
the fee.
arrive at customs the first time, you have to state your religion, and they put it on paper on records. So when you want to apply for anything, you have to show your.
There must be major downsides to not putting Muslim on that card.
They put Christian on mine.
What?
I don't know how because.
Because you needed your booze.
No, I swear, like I went and I found like it was Christian because they saw passport Canadian and they didn't recognize the city because on my passport it doesn't say Morocco, it just say the city.
Oh yeah, the
It
city
says-
of birth, not the country.
It's Meknes, and they never heard of Meknes.
Meknes, Alberta.
And then my son was born in Canada, and I think they just mixed it up. And I was like, all right, this is good. I'm gonna keep it. But
They still let you go to Mecca, or was that? Did that
no,
happen
this is after.
Oh.
No, I went to Dubai much later, and and then you get a card, and they have this alcohol store that are hidden. If you don't know them, you will never know where they are. Yeah, seriously, it's just word of mouth. But the thing is, when you travel, you go to the duty free, you can buy alcohol. Like I used to buy alcohol. My ex used to buy alcohol. I think you have up to 4 bottles. And whenever somebody comes, we tell them, bring us alcohol. And then there is another one. If you go to another Emirates, they have a big supermarket and you can go and buy any alcohol, and then you do the runs, and it's if you get caught by the police, you're yeah. But a lot of people they just go. So one time we went and we bought a cart of alcohol and put it in our car and got home with I don't know maybe 20 bottles of alcohol or something. Yeah.
Okay, so it was around easily.
Yeah, it was
enough.
around
Yeah.
easily.
And Morocco's the same rules. But it sounds like Muslims are allowed to buy more.
No, I used to buy alcohol when I was like 20. I go to the supermarket and just pick up.
So it's ready. It's in supermarkets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird the different rules of. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure Christianity is the same thing. Yeah, like I had cousins who are certain where their form of Christianity they didn't believe that alcohol was not allowed, and then like when there was weddings and stuff, there was no alcohol for the
In
guests.
Morocco, a lot of weddings, no alcohol, but they have a car. There's always a guy with a
alcohol
car, and
of the
everybody's
trunk.
going out in the trunk, and they go. It's just out of respect to the families, because a lot of people don't drink. Their moms, they're old people, so they don't want to be serving
Right, in front.
alcohol in front of everybody.
That's kind of fun. You go out
Yeah.
and have a cigarette, drink.
Yeah, you
get
have a
little
drink,
portable
and
bar
then you
in the
come
back.
back, you're tipsy and
Well, in
having fun.
Lebanon, the dry weddings, like which are usually the Muslim weddings, now the venues always include a basement bar. So nobody's drinking like at the
main
tables or like at the main venue, but everyone's like stuck in like a little bar, like down in the basement of the venue.
Beautifully decorated
exactly.
food, and everyone's in the little dungeon. It's funny that the story about they saw Canada on your passport or whatever, or they saw your Canadian passport
Yeah.
and just assumed Christianity.
I don't know how they mixed it up. Like, because I don't know, because I didn't do the paperwork. It's my ex who did everything. And at some point, when I got my paper, I saw Christian, and I was like, what?
He was trying to get you murdered.
No. You get better
True crime.
salaries actually when you're Christian with a good
My,
passport.
I have a family member whose last name is, her married name is Hispanic. She had a baby in Staten Island, and they just saw her name, and they immediately brought in a translator. So it was just like, wait a minute. She's like the whitest, blondest girl, but because of her last name, they just assumed that she would need a translator. Like her Spanish was her first language.
Was she Alec Baldwin's wife?
Yeah. There's a show now.
She
It's
had.
called The Baldwins.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, look at this. All right, I get to start.
Of course.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
So now, when was the first time you had?
I had alcohol
Yeah,
very
yeah.
early on.
Oh God.
First of all, my dad would drink beer and he would give me beer. Like I love beer from a very early age because I would like wait for my dad to like give me a little bit.
Well, I just want to keep it going.
And then when I came
Oh, your dad's a beer
here-
drinker too. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
nice.
We also have that in common.
For the record, I don't drink alcohol anymore. Okay. I moved to the harder
neither,
stuff.
yeah, neither do I. I don't drink alcohol at all. But when I was younger, at 12, my sister, who's 10 years older than me, was married by the time I was 12, and because she got married really young, and she would have like parties, and I would go there, and I would get plastered, my friends. 'Cause you know, yeah.
12.
Wow.
Yep.
I had some Drew Barrymore stuff. Wow.
Yeah,
It's not.
it's not lit.
That's it.
Pretend.
We don't need to really smoke.
This is another level of podcasting. I swear. Okay. I'm gonna have to do it slowly because I don't want to start coughing.
Yeah, and then I was telling Lam, my sister would get me into clubs at like 13.
What?
Yeah, I did Montreal clubbing at like 13, 14.
No wonder you're so well connected.
If only. Yeah, by 20, I was like ready to like move on to a different life. Yeah, I was like, I'm done with the club scene in Montreal. I'm tired, man. Yeah, but I was a smoker, I was a drinker.
Beautiful joint.
I didn't smoke weed until my 20s.
Yeah, me too.
Because
Me
your
too. I
sister didn't
started
make it
weed,
available.
like around 20-ish.
Had she been a
Yeah.
weed smoker?
Yeah. Did your parents have any idea that you were drinking alcohol at such a young age?
Yeah. It was laughed at, like, oh, she got her sister drunk, or, take your sister out. Take her out to clubs. Maybe, some rich guy will, like, get her eye on her. Yeah.
Okay, so at least you didn't have to hide it. Yeah.
I can.
You are professional smoker, weed smoker.
I don't know.
I love weed. I love weed so much.
I do love Santa Maria.
What's Santa Maria?
I usually, do a prayer to Santa Maria before I smoke.
Who's Santa Maria? The
What you're
Guadalupe?
smoking. The spirit of the plant.
Because there is a Santa Maria de Guadalupe.
Santa Maria is Saint Mary.
Okay.
But you know how Mary...
Marijuana.
Yeah, marijuana.
Ah, okay.
That's why it's called Santa Maria.
I'm not in
In
the
Santo
scene.
Daime, they have ceremonies around weed, like around marijuana, and they literally call the plant Santa Maria. It's they're communing with the spirit of Mother Mary.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a spiritual practice.
Yeah,
Every night.
it is for me.
Yeah. No.
It is spiritual practice. I
this
mean,
is-
I do it recreationally as well, but I mean, why is that not a spiritual practice either?
It absolutely is.
I'm seriously thinking that this is really amazing that I'm smoking weed on camera.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm just
it's exposing yourself.
and I'm not afraid of exposing myself
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh, pants are coming down.
But that
No, but I think that's huge.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be a shit.
no, I didn't feel like I know. I was like that was that.
She doesn't care if her pants come down.
Oh, no, I
What?
wish she was having a moment.
I was gonna make a joke about us, and that ship has sailed on.
Exactly.
What are you apologizing for?
No, you're right. I apologize for apologizing.
She's already high.
Okay, so this is interesting because sometimes you hear spiritual people talk about like, oh, I don't smoke weed anymore. Like,
Yeah.
some people talk about how marijuana puts holes in your aura. There's a lot of, and I
They do?
well, I mean,
I mean, there's talk about everything and anything
Yeah.
in this world.
It's too
but
much.
are you guys familiar with online? Maybe I'm way too online, but there's a funny graph where it's like, so it's this shape. It's like low, high, and then low again. And it's basically like, and then at the first low point, it's like a face that's basically communicating low intelligence. And then at the high point, it's like middle intelligence, like like advanced, but and then back to down again, and it's this like master level. So you're at the low level that the idiot was, but now you're doing it for like different reasons. And you can apply this to so many things. No, just like anything. So it's just like what's a good example? Like alcohol, maybe. It's like people who don't drink. They're in their culture, it's considered bad, evil, it's devil's juice or whatever. And then a more mature attitude is you're drinking, and so like that you're in this level. And then at a certain point, it's like, oh, I recognize like I don't want to do alcohol. So it's like you're coming to the same place that this person was, but now from a more mature perspective. And this is my whole like, I love this graph because it's like the whole balancing of urges. It's like if you're forbidden from doing something, of course you're gonna want to do it. But then once you've done it for a while, then you could kind of realize the pros and cons, and you can have your own relationship to it. And so then you come out the other side in the same place you were here, but now from a different perspective. Anyway, where was I going with that? shit.
We were
talking about
the
weed.
that
Weed,
puts-
okay,
puts a
yes.
hole
Yeah,
in
yeah,
your
yeah.
soul and-
A hole in your
be
aura.
careful. Sorry.
Skip
Here.
me.
Sorry.
Oh shit. I'm a bad.
Weed sharer.
Sorry.
She
Yes.
is not level tonight. It's a birthday. She's happy.
Hey,
Yeah. I love it.
shorty. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I think about it a lot because sometimes in the middle of the day I'll be smoking weed, especially now I got my new lighter. It's just like, oh, I get to use my lighter. So I'll be high like at 2 p.m. and I'll go on a walk. And I'll be like, do I need to smoke weed? Like, no. Like, I'm not doing, like, it's not, I don't have this thing I'm trying to escape. Like, it's all, I feel like I have a really healthy.
You're not numbing.
No, it's spiritual. Like, it brings me, it kind of helps blur that line between 3D and 5D. It kind of, it's like, it puts me a little bit, it brings me a little bit higher. It makes it a little easier to kind of be in touch with my higher self or whatever that is that talks to me. And it's like yeah. And so it's like, it feels to me like a spiritual thing that feels really good. And why not? If I can smoke weed in the middle of a day and go on a walk, why not? So, but it is something that crosses my mind. It's like, am I dependent? Like, I kind of had to think about it a little bit. And I think I don't know. I've talked too much. What's your relationship?
Well, I think I don't know if you're dependent or not, but when I take a gummy, it's just so relaxing. Like and I always like take it and I go to bed and it's a beautiful, like a little journey before I go to sleep, and I sleep really well. And I don't feel like I need it to go to bed. It's just, I love the feeling. So I don't know. Is it addictive to just want to feel nice from time? Is it?
And it's not like your life isn't nice, right? You're not it's just
I'm
like,
not escaping anything.
yeah, it's like it's nice, but now it's a little nicer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, what happened is I really love weed. So once I started smoking weed, like the first time I discovered it, yeah.
God, man. Oh, we good? Okay.
I liked it from the beginning.
What was your first time?
I was with friends. It was a group of friends. Everyone was curious and would get together and would smoke. But we would connect. We would start talking. And it was like the first time I was connecting to people in a different way, on a different level. And so I started preferring spending time with people when we smoke than in any other social circumstance. And we weren't like, escaping anything or like, it was just instead of going out drinking alcohol and dancing like we used to do, we'd sit and we'd smoke and we'd talk and we'd laugh and we'd have munchies, and it was more bonding in a way.
Yeah, so like that, it was a good social burp. Lubricant.
Oh my God. We're turning to a bro podcast now. They fart and burp on the
A bro podcast. Yeah.
Sorry, the social lubricant was the word I was trying to say. Yes.
So it was a social. Well, it was another. No, it was another like social perspective. Basically, like I don't know. Up to my 20s, I guess I never felt like I craved like deep consent. I used to get so mad at my girlfriends because all we talked about was boys. I would be like, "Can we talk about something else?" Like all we talk about were like boys and relationships and boys and boys and boys. And he looked at me and looked at me and looked at his message and what do you think he said? And he said this and she said that. And okay, I participated.
Completely failing the Bechdel test of life.
No, but I participated. It was the age, but it would get to me at times. But then when we smoke weed, we talk about other stuff. Talk about like life. What do you feel? Like, and I was much more into that shit. Like,
yeah, of
I'm
course.
all about going deep, and I guess that was resonant from back then. And then slowly, people, not everybody reacts well to weed though. Some people start getting paranoid.
Yeah,
and
some people they get
anxiety.
Yeah.
Me, then I did it by myself. So then the first time I did it by myself was the real revelation. Because then I was like that talking to my higher self, that inner dialogue, then that was like switched on. That was loud. That was like, oh, hold on. I can hear that voice inside of me, like on really a much higher volume.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not my
How old were
experience
you roughly?
when I
with
did
that?
it by myself.
That was my.
Oh no, I was just cracking up like a maniac. I was laughing so hard, and yeah, I was looking at myself in the mirror and just laughing, like cracking up. And I started texting a friend. I sent her like maybe 100 text messages,
Just punchlines.
just punchlines, like
Setups.
just like laughing and making bullshit stuff. And I knew where she was. I knew that she was not gonna read those messages because she was at the pool. She told me, I'm gonna go to the pool with my kids, the public pool, like the swimming pool or whatever. And then, and I kept telling her stupid stuff, and I'm putting like laughing emoji, like, and I'm telling her like I'm high and all this stuff. I was like really on a tangent. And then she opened her message, and the first thing she said, "I'm coming over." She read everything. She's like, I want to have what you're having.
Wait. Let's go. Oh shit. How old were you? Where?
Oh,
and
no,
you were
this was here.
in Canada.
When I came back, because I was not a big weed smoker. Like and in Dubai, my experience was zero weed. 12 years in Dubai, I haven't touched
Is it hard
weed.
to get in
Yeah,
Dubai?
there's no drug. I don't know people.
It's
who-
not like alcohol where it's
like if
there's
they catch you,
rules.
it's death penalty or something
Oh,
like that.
oh,
So
you weren't smoking?
Death.
well,
penalty.
some really bad thing.
No, I know a lot
Like,
of people that got caught. I know a lot of drug stories.
I
from
don't know
Dubai.
anything. We were not in the
Fun
circle of
stories.
the drug people. I know there is cocaine and all this stuff, but I was not mixing with this. We were very
Different
like
crowd.
family. Everybody's clean and all this, doing normal stuff. So when I came, normal
See the
stuff.
judging.
Well, you know what I mean, like normal for the Dubai circle.
Fuck you guys. I'm going home.
I'm like, this is boring. I'm going to Canada. So I came back here, and the first thing is like, I need to smoke weed. So I called a friend, and she brought me some joints, and I smoked them.
This is when it was it legal? It became legal here in 2018.
No, I came
Oh,
here
it's-
into 2017, so it was
Oh,
not
just
legal.
about.
But everybody smokes.
Yeah, no, it
here,
was readily
so,
available.
Yeah, but I was smoking in my house.
No, I was just trying to get an idea of timing. That's all.
I smoked with the guy on a first date. I brought him some weed, and I had an orgasm by myself where he was sitting on the couch watching me.
Whoa.
What? Say that again. I missed
I think
that.
we need a
heard
demonstration.
orgasm and weed.
I was a guy that I met on some app, and then he invited me over to his place, and I told him I'm gonna bring a joint, and he's like, yeah, we'll smoke, but he's not a big smoker, so he had one puff. I finished this. I swear, like he was sitting here, and I was sitting there, and I started having an orgasm. He didn't touch me or anything.
But what do you mean? How?
The
Explain.
the sacred
Santa
the
Maria.
Santa Maria, the labia.
You mean like a combustional orgasm?
I was orgasming,
Yeah, but without touching.
and the guy
yourself.
was no.
You weren't touching
I
yourself.
was not
No, that's
doing
what I'm
anything.
That's
And
what
the
I'm
guy
trying to
was just looking
understand.
at me. I was like, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" And then he was like, "Fuck, are you having an orgasm?" And I was like, "He's like, that's so cool."
Wow.
Okay.
Had that happened to you before?
No, first time. Well,
Spontaneous orgasm. That's what I was looking.
yeah,
Combustion.
combustion. I was on fire, man.
That too.
That too. This was combustion.
I thought, that makes sense.
Whoa. So were you surprised, or did it feel totally natural?
Well, I was surprised. Of course, I didn't expect that to happen with just smoking weed.
Ave Maria.
So what are the odds we get the same thing happens today?
I don't know. Now. right. The fun is going to begin in 5, 4. Let's turn this to an OnlyFans bullshit. Let's monetize this crap already.
Wasting our time.
I know. This is bullshit.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
How long was it a pretty powerful orgasm? Like a full body thing?
It was a good one. Like, yeah.
Impressive, girl.
Has it happened ever since?
No.
Wow.
No.
All right.
But
so
can we talk just about how we orgasm tonight? But like sometimes I used to he used to hug me, and I would orgasm.
Who's the guy? Maybe it's
yeah,
the
we
guy.
need to share the number to this guy. Sorry, Santa Maria. I
He
think
was
we have
an Aryan guy.
He wasn't Santa Maria.
He was a German guy. He was like 6'4" or something. Blue, very Aryan, like pure German breed. Blue eyes, but like I don't know. I think I was just horny.
Was this the first guy you hung out with
No,
coming back?
the second one.
Okay. But he just.
But
he
I
brought
liked
something
him.
out.
We
Yeah.
had very nice conversation. He was very intellectual, very sensitive guy.
The intellectual
You know,
stuff.
Yeah, he used to read me poems and stuff. He was very sweet. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
I've never had that experience.
Me neither.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Thank you, Lord, for giving me this sexual energy
Cool, cool.
that made me suffer most of my life.
Yeah.
It's funny how, yeah.
The pros and the cons. The,
pros
double-edged
and- yeah,
sword.
yeah,
Of,
yeah, yeah.
A strong sex drive.
Mm.
Dualistic world.
What's the hardest part about it?
Well, when I was married, I was always horny and nobody was there to satisfy this
Machine.
this machine. And when I hit puberty, I around like 14. Oh my God, I was horny all the time, and I didn't know how to masturbate, and I was just suffering. I
What
was
do you
like,
mean you didn't know how to?
I didn't know how to, like, whenever I touch myself, it feels hard, like it hurts or something. I didn't know. I learned to masturbate after I got married.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't start masturbating regularly.
Because
till late in my
nobody.
Really?
Okay,
Late in my marriage.
when I was with guys,
So you had never touched yourself. You had never made yourself come before.
Not until like it was in my 30s. Yeah.
yeah, I was like 28 or something when I started masturbating. Yeah, see, it's a lot of things, you know.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was
Really?
like shame. Like, I mean, boys aren't supposed to masturbate, and girls, it was like.
I just
From my
didn't know.
perspective, who knows?
I
Maybe
didn't know
I was
how
not
to
hanging out with
do
the right
it.
kids.
Oh, sorry, we were talking at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why? What? Were you 8? You should drink it at 12.
See, we all have our things. So you are the lady masturbator.
But it's so. It's.
The lady masturbator. Sure. We all have our thing.
I am the combustor.
So you're frustrated because you have a really strong sex drive.
Yeah, I was so frustrated all the time. I was like, just when will I have sex? When will I have sex? So
Yeah, I remember like there were those romance novels where they would have really detailed, and you could tell where all the girls are reading because it's like stretched on the spine or whatever. But I would get so engorged, like
So what do we do? You didn't touch yourself?
no.
I just get the feeling. And that's it. And I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, I used to read a lot of erotica when I was like a
Me
teenager.
too.
And I would just get like, I was like, I didn't know what to do.
Oh, I
No,
would get
eventually we're just walking around with blue ovaries all day long, I guess. Because
Blue ovaries.
That's wild. I mean,
That's
because
wild.
no, it was very instinctual. Like nobody,
Who's gonna tell me anything? Like,
nobody told me
there
anything.
was no internet, nothing.
I didn't look up how to masturbate and then found out how. And I was almost
Well,
like
you're
9,
one of the
10,
lucky
like,
ones.
long. But it would, like, let's say I would read the Harlequin. It was the Harlequin.
Harlequin.
Harlequin,
Yeah,
yeah.
Harlequin. Yeah, we
Yeah.
used to read that too.
I would read that and I would get horny and
exactly what to do.
oh yeah.
Yeah. No.
You're so lucky, man. I lost so many years not masturbating.
Fuck, imagine, like, no, it's my brain is like not computing because imagine all these years
Practicing
up until
edging.
30.
More than like 38. Or
Okay, this is like the first time I had sex. Like I was still a virgin, and I was with this guy, and we were just fooling around, like nothing really. And then at some point, we were not like, okay, we're gonna have sex, and I'm gonna penetrate you. It was just like that, and then poof, it was in, and it didn't hurt because I was so horny. I was like, oh, I'm having like 5 orgasms before you get in, man. So I was like bleeding, and I was like, continue, and I was like, God. And it was really the easiest way, I think, for, oh my God. Just a blabbermouth. This is rated PG-13.
So how old are you when you lose your virginity?
19.
Me too. 19.
19.
Very
was
similar.
5.
Hypocrisy.
Drinking at 12. Teaching people how to masturbate.
Wait, how old were you?
No, I was 17. It's not that bad.
That's a good
Yeah.
age.
But you know, my Brazilian friend, he was telling me he was 11. And Brazil,
it at
they're very
11?
young. I mean, they're very
Oh,
sexual.
wow.
11. I'm like, 11? How?
He was like a baby.
Yeah. But he did it
I
with
assume
an
it's like
older
another-
girl. But, you know, a boy, like,
He's probably still a boy, like small,
still a
not
boy,
quite,
yeah.
like no body hair. I mean, unless he matured. What do I know if he
I
matured
mean, at
quickly?
11, I don't know.
11, I don't think they have
Yeah.
any.
Anyway, so, yeah. So, no.
Still had his high
for,
voice.
For me, it was 17. 17 was, and I was telling him, he, like, here amongst my friends, I was still, like, not the earliest one, you know?
No.
No.
A lot of girls are like 14,
Yeah.
even
Mhm.
13 isn't that uncommon. I mean, used to be. I don't know what there is nowadays, but
In Morocco, it's tricky because you have to be virgin before marriage and all this stuff. So my generation, we used to fool around a lot without losing our virginity.
yes, the dry
Or-
humping is.
A lot of girls, they do anal. So
I love that. Anal's the
the
Safe
what the
way.
virgins do.
the getaway drug to stay in virgin.
It's what the virgins do.
Oh my
Get it up
God,
the
can you
ass.
believe that? Oh, it's horrible.
When I first heard that, I was like, in what world is that? It just seems so crazy to me. Or like
Because they need to keep that little
I understand
hymen
the
intact.
technicalities of
But
it.
I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just the
To
way
me,
it
it's just
is.
funny
Yeah, but me, I was like, no, I'm not gonna wait until marriage to
to have anal sex.
have anal sex. Oh boy.
Oh.
That's
But what about you?
I was 19.
19 was it? But it wasn't with your husband.
No, it was this guy that showed some attention to me who is not part of the organization that I grew up in. Because I went on a lot of dates, and there were guys that I'd fallen in love with, and yeah, like the dry humping and all that stuff, you know. So you'd mess around, but you wouldn't. There was a line you wouldn't cross. I remember like a lot of like like kids getting together watching movies, and then you end up just kind of doing like little makeouts, like all the little couples around the room and in a basement of some kid's house. There's a lot of that stuff. But no, but it never crossed that line. What is going on with that light? Wee. Someone has something to say. I think he's going down again. Yeah. Yeah, but I finally, and then I graduated high school and got a job and was in a relationship with no, I think at that point I'd been in a few relationships, and then for a while I was just single. And there were a couple guys I was actually like would have liked to have maybe tried to date, and because in the church there's really specific rules about dating and no sex before marriage, and when you do dates, when you do finally think you found someone you may want to get serious with, you have to like speak to the minister about, can we be like, there was a word for it. I don't remember what the word was, but it was a little bit more contrived than normal. But I remember just I had been not officially dating someone, but we liked each other. But then at one point, I think we just kind of lost interest and we kind of faded apart from one another, and that was fine. I think it was pretty mutual. And then I just was quote unquote single, and nobody approached me, not a single guy. And I even hinted to a couple guys, and they just didn't pick up the hint. And so, then this guy who I didn't know, he was a friend of someone who had been in the organization. I met him, and he was very into me, and that was just nice to nice to feel. And so it was him, and I had to lie about it to my parents.
Yeah, you can't tell them that you went outside.
So it's like I'm sneaking around, and I mean, in some ways it's a little fun, but it's just a gross feeling to like come home and just be afraid they might ask where you were and have to come up with a contrived story. And and the sex wasn't great. It wasn't fun. Like I didn't feel good about it. But because he was a boy who wasn't in the church, like I didn't feel comfortable enforcing the church rules on. I wanted him to like me, so the first few times there were only a few times, actually, maybe 3 total. But once was in a car. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that light. It's trying to tell us it's messages. The aliens are trying.
Yeah, somebody's telling you something.
Oops. Let's try that. And then. But he lived out in the suburbs. I lived in the city. At one point, I think I had to tell my dad. I don't know. Maybe he found out.
Really?
Yeah, and that was hard. He was very disappointed in me. But I think he was pretty understanding too. Like he's not an idiot. He gets like, you're 19 years old. You live with your parents. You wanna. But so when I ended up leaving the church and moving to Baltimore. And I still thought I would have a relationship with this guy. Like his plan was to like move out west or whatever. But I thought like, when he'll move, he'll get his job. Maybe I'll go and meet him there. I don't know. But then very quickly, I hooked up with my future husband, like my boss at the time. And then, pretty quickly, that guy kind of just faded out of my life. So, but looking back, with the modern definition of, I don't want to use the R word, maybe unconsensual sex, like in the realm of unconsensual. By modern standards, I think it would be kind of frowned upon. At the time, it just felt like, as much as, again, I don't know anything about it. I'm a virgin or whatever, growing up in church. I don't know quite how things work. But it wasn't the most consensual thing that has ever happened to me. I'll just say that. But I wasn't like saying no either, It was more just kind of a neutral thing. But then I had to like, so when I started having feelings, or the flirtation between me and my future ex started, it came up once in conversation, like how many people have, like we were at a table with another person and we were just talking about like numbers of partners, like I guess what today they call body count. And I said 1, and he was not happy. He was
what? He wanted to be the first?
Yeah, and when he found out he wasn't technically the first, like, he gave me so much shit for that. Like,
gross.
Yeah, I mean, he was cheating on his wife, but I'm...
That's
narcissism works,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So
Wow. It reminds me of men from my side of the country. Like they're like that. They go around and have all the sex they want, and when they marry, they want a virgin.
Of course, not the same standards.
Yeah.
Did your ex know that you weren't
Well,
a virgin?
he never asked me any of these things.
He never asked you, but
He
he knew
didn't
you
care.
weren't a virgin.
He didn't care.
that's
Yeah, he never told me how many boyfriends did you have or anything.
wow.
Or if you
He
had
never
slept with
asked me
anybody.
anything.
We forgot something. The timer.
Yeah,
Again?
I know.
We have that, I guess, but I
had
don't. We can go a
noticed
little
that.
long today.
It's okay.
That's in
could
some
be an
ways as much as
extended version.
yeah, as dysfunctional as your marriage was. It does sound like there were some pockets of sanity, like
Yeah.
that you could travel.
Mm.
He wasn't
He
very
wasn't
jealous.
upset. No, he wasn't jealous. He wasn't. He was the opposite of jealous.
That was part of the problem. You wanted to be more desired.
Well, no, I don't want him to be jealous and like fight men, but like if a man like is a bit like show that you care. Like sometimes like I'm your wife. Like show some pride in the fact that he never had that. Like if we go out and a guy comes and he doesn't feel threatened and he doesn't care, and it was like
Yeah, you want to be like duel over you, like go outside and fight it out.
not fight, but just like say show some emotion, like not fight with me, but just like I don't know, just show that it bothers you that a guy comes and say something.
I know what you mean. Like once, my ex had a really sexy motorcycle. He leather Italian Ducatis, red, beautiful, and we were downtown at in Minneapolis, like at a festival once, and he parked the motorcycle there, and he was standing by, and I think I was next to some other friend, so I wasn't immediately next to him. And this girl, cute girl in cute little dress, comes up and started talking to him, and like I saw it, and I wasn't like jealous, but there was something like no, that's my man, you know. And I just kind of went up and kind of stood next to him. You know, it felt good to see someone else attracted to the person who I was attracted to. I know what you mean. I think that's what you're kind of getting at. Did you see that?
No, aren't you saying though that that was pretty epic. That was like a slow-mo eye roll.
No, I didn't mean any of that.
No, she wants her husband to come and that's what you mean. You wanted to do like what Kate did.
Just like feel like a little bit like protective or like something like okay, that's my woman. Like I don't like men who fight like or become like
no,
really
no.
Yeah, that's
aggressive.
insecurity.
No, that's not good.
attractive.
It's just like a little bit of okay. Excuse me, she's my wife or something. You know,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and he would never do that.
never.
He's just on his phone.
Yeah. Because then it could be seen or felt like
Like he
he's not
doesn't
interested.
care.
Yeah,
He doesn't
exactly.
care.
Doesn't
Like
care.
that's how I always felt like he doesn't care. Like okay, you want to go out until 3:00 in the morning? Go. I never said anything. Like I used to go out in Dubai. I used to go out all the time with my girlfriends. Like ladies' night, let's go. Let's go. And I come home.
What about their husbands?
Same thing.
Same.
Yeah.
The boy husband
Yes,
didn't care.
very progressive men over in the Middle East.
Well, they're not Arabs. All of my friends were. They were all British or Australian. I didn't go out with my Arabs. They're the ones who
Right.
they're not allowed to go out. You know. So. Yeah, and I used to travel alone with my friend, and he was always didn't care.
Which sounds amazing. Like he lets you
That's-
travel.
I was
but
very
there is-
happy.
there is,
Like people
the
are
other
jealous
side
of
it.
me. And I had a friend. Like I used to go out with her, and she used to tell me, "Oh, I like these boots. I don't know what my husband would think if I should buy them or not. Maybe I need to show them to him." I'm like, "You have to go and ask your husband for permission, like if." I never like it was so
Foreign.
foreign to me that she wanted to see if her husband is gonna like the boots on her before she buys them, because that's the relationship they have. And for me, it was like, that's very controlling. That's how I used to interpret it. Because me, I would never in a million years ask him if I should buy something or not.
There was a lot of that energy in my relationship, that him wanting to look at the outfits, see how they fit, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then like we'd do a little shopping haul, and then I'd come home and do a little fashion show, and it's cute actually. I mean,
yeah, it's
the
nice.
fashion
It's
show
sweet.
part, but the idea that he had to like look at it, and it wasn't always like that. Like sometimes I could buy stuff, but like if he was there, it'd be like, "Oh, what do you think?" And I don't know, just getting feedback. But if he said no and I still got it, that probably wouldn't happen.
I guess the question was, is it part of your buying process? Like, what is he gonna think? Like, if you're out shopping by yourself
Well,
or with your friends, is he like, oh, what is he gonna think? Yeah.
that what is he gonna think element was in everything I did. Just being out with my girlfriends, or
he's
the
always
way I
there
set
with
the
you.
well, he was always there with me, or
in
what's-
your head.
If I,
not-
yes, yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah.
meant. Not with you.
Well, no, he was
physically.
also with me physically too, like very much. Like I can count on one hand the amount of times I went to a comedy show by myself, like where I was performing. Like he was there every night. Like, yeah, that was a big thing I was needed. I was just like, can I just have time alone? Like I just,
Oh my God! No wonder now you don't want to be with anybody.
I love my
like
solitude.
you love yourself. Like, but me, it's the opposite. I was always doing stuff. Like I felt like I was sometimes feeling really bad. Like I go out and all my girlfriends have their husbands and I'm alone. Yeah, because he used to travel a lot. Like whenever there is an outing, I'm always alone. Always alone. Yeah. So that was a bit of
Yeah, you wanted a
tough.
partner. You
Yeah, I want
wanted
to have a
somebody there.
partner. Like, and what am I, a divorcee with a husband? Like, it's
right.
just
And then
yeah.
when you're not having sex for a long time, it's just like, we're just roommates. Like, yeah,
yeah. That's how it felt. I was feeling. I used to feel very lonely all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt lonely all the time too, even when his physical presence, because it can have a
It was
different.
not the good.
Yeah,
It's not the healthy way of being present, right?
Right. Yeah. Just because at a certain point it was just like, oh, there's this not a partnership here. It became like this little prison that I was in, and we've talked about this before, where it's just like the loneliest I've been is technically in a relationship. It was just very isolating. But yeah, you had the opposite thing where he wasn't physically present.
Yeah, and I remember I told him once I feel really lonely, and he said to me, "But I don't."
Okay.
All right. Problem solved.
Thank you very much.
for your help.
See you in 3 weeks.
So long.
Wow.
Can you believe it? That was very funny. He always had this type of reply. Like whenever I have it was Mother's Day, and I told him, "It's Mother's Day. Like, are you gonna get me a gift?" He said, "You're not my mom."
That's kind of funny, though, in a very twisted way.
He's not wrong.
Got a point.
Yay.
Sorry, back to your masturbation. I'm not.
We're
got
still on that.
sidetracked.
We didn't finish
That was
that
just
thing.
in
What
parentheses.
Yeah, I've closed the parentheses.
The lady masturbator?
Yeah. the
What am
lady-
I?
Buster. Oh, that was her.
Yeah. So what happened? What do you want to tell her?
You must have had your own bedroom as a kid, because I didn't. I always shared a room, so I think maybe that makes it hard.
But go to the bathroom. What do we put there?
I just put it on the.
Okay.
Sorry.
Bathroom.
Just the bathroom.
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 Oh,
is
you're
your
not even lying
friend.
down.
The
Bathtub.
bathtub.
We can.
They had a bathroom in the woods.
Well, that was the other thing. Like, we had one bathroom.
In Minnesota, they don't have hot water.
And we shared it with 4 families, so. No, but there's one bathroom that we shared. I'm one of 8 in my family. We had one bathroom. And
Wow.
as when I was a teenager, our living situation, we had a house. We had our family at the 2nd floor, and one of the rooms, one of the single bachelor men in the community lived there. So it was all 9 of us had one bathroom to share, and yeah, like the idea of like taking a long luxurious bath, like you just couldn't do it because people needed to use the toilet all the time. So yeah, I didn't even really have a bathroom.
Were you homeschooled or you went to?
No,
What
technically,
kind of schooling was
the
there?
church had its own school.
Ah,
So I mean, it was almost like an extended form of homeschooling. So all the teachers were members of the church. I think the state, we were registered to the state. We were probably one of the smallest schools, if not the smallest
so you
in the
followed
state.
the state curriculum?
Yeah, there was like things that had to be covered. I remember. in this-
What do you mean be covered?
Oh my god! When we were at science, so
Oh,
we
you
had
didn't
science
study
class.
science, real
Well,
science.
I think by law they had to teach.
They studied
some-
fake science. Dinosaurs roaming the earth
Well,
with the
I remember once
with
we
the
got
humans.
new science textbooks, and one of the first things that, like, sometimes they want you to like stretch out the spine so that kind of like for a new book. And part of our like bringing in the new books, he had all of us go in and cross out a couple of lines from the first introduction of. It was something maybe about
because
like
sex or
God.
something?
No, like. Because I mean, at one point, there-
evolution and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
they
we
don't
had to, like-
believe in that thing.
we
Yeah.
had to go into the science book and cross it out. But everything else is accurate, but like not this part. Yeah.
How many were you in that congregation?
I think it was always kind of give and take around 500 members. My graduating class was 10 kids. Some are a little bit bigger, but yeah, it's small. Now I have no idea what the numbers are.
Is it still going?
Kind of. It's going through a transformation. The main leader died a few years ago, and so they're still trying to figure out like what the future looks like.
You don't have a leader now?
Me?
You are the leader of your church?
No, I don't. They're trying to. You talk about a split. There's splits happening everywhere, and there's a little bit of 2 different visions for what moving forward looks like. I don't. It's not my business. I don't want to talk too
But
much about it.
when you go back home, you don't talk about this stuff with your
I mean,
family?
it comes up a little bit, but I don't know. I don't ask a lot of questions because it's not
Okay.
my business. But also, it's like I can see the problems. It's like you've got a whole community and people have different ideas what they want. Like you've chosen to tie your life very closely to other people, and that was something you going into. But there's like the downsides of that. If you don't agree, you can't. And especially, like in the past when there was one main leader and he kind of ruled with fear and control, his word was the final word. But now he's gone, and so everyone's lives are just so tied to one another. I don't know. That's like it's like when this idea of communal living comes up, and people are like, wouldn't it be so cool if we all kind of shared resources and stuff. And it's like, it is if it can be done in a certain way. But I've seen situations where when the way you want to live your life could potentially conflict with the way someone else wants to live it. Like now we have, it's like the boundaries. There's just less boundaries between
But
people.
yours is more like religious. That's why it's tricky. Like people have to follow the same rules, kind of religious rules and stuff. So if
But
you
it seems
can't,
like the
you
biggest.
can't have like a Muslim in your community or a Jewish person.
Right,
So
I
that's
bet.
what I'm saying. So if you have like just people who are maybe not even practicing, they can all be in a communal living situation.
It seems like the biggest issues are well, I don't know. I don't know what the big. Yeah, I think the biggest issue ones keep him split is like what the tone is moving forward. I really don't know. Like it feels inappropriate to talk about it because
Okay,
it's
it's
not.
fine.
You keep
Don't-
saying
don't.
your, and I'm like, I'm technically not a member anymore.
Okay, but you're the only one who left. Yeah?
No.
Oh, your sister.
I was one of 6, and 5 of us left.
Oh, okay. But you were the first one. That was.
No, my brother was the first one, and I got to see how he was treated leaving, and he kind of cut the path for the rest of us. But he wasn't the first person. Like kids get a certain age and they leave. Like that's pretty common. But it was a big, to see, someone move out and then have to be around the siblings and hear that we can't talk to her anymore. She's going to hell. It's like it was just accepted. Like like from a kid. And then when it happens to you and now your brother's gone, yeah. And then when you make the decision to leave, you kind of understand like what that looks like. So, but
Wow, that's.
but it was possible. I mean, I know like in some of these types of places, it's where they're more into guns and stuff. It's probably a lot harder to leave. Like that's one thing about the church. There wasn't
some cults that have guns in.
Well, I mean, like that Waco situation, the Branch Davidians they felt threatened and started getting guns, and Waco people, they had guns when they moved down to not Waco, Jonestown guys. Jonestown, what's his name? Where they went to South America and they
When was that?
I want to say the 70s.
I'm aware of this.
If I remember the guy's name, you might remember.
Fascinating, yeah.
But no,
I should know these.
one of the families wanted to go back. So they left America because they felt threatened somehow. They found some land in Central America, called it Jonestown. Jones must have been that guy's last name, something Jones. Anyway, one of the families wants to leave, or someone wants to leave, but now they can't. Like they don't want people leaving because I guess things aren't going well. They're getting the food's problem, whatever. And then a senator finds out that there's American citizens who are basically imprisoned, and so or senators, someone in the federal government, or maybe I think it was the federal government, gets involved. They actually go down and visit, and they're trying to just see what's going on, trying to get an idea. And David oh shoot. Anyway, he David Koresh, I think is his name. He says not Jonestown. Anyway, Jonestown is the name. His last name isn't Jones. David Koresh tells them, yes, you can come back, and we'll let these people pack up and they'll go with you. And so they leave, and then when they before they get back, they made this Kool-Aid with poison, and everybody drank
They
it.
said drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah, I heard about this story like a while ago.
Yeah, so it's like there's definitely cults out there where they make it very, very hard to leave. Leaving Choff wasn't. I mean, it was hard because you had no money, you had no life experience. Some people don't even have relatives who are outside of the church to even help you. Wow, that's hard. Yeah. And the leader used to be like, anyone can leave. You can leave whenever you want. I'll help you pack. And it's like, I don't need help packing. I need money. I need a car. I need a job. But he'll help you pack. I don't know if he ever helped anyone pack.
I think it's just a way of talking.
But he's not wrong. Like kids could leave. There wasn't a gate. There wasn't guns. You could technically physically leave. And lots of people did. And it's hard, but it's totally doable. So, yeah, I don't know how we got onto that. Are the cults would there be a Moroccan cult in Morocco or in Lebanon?
I don't think we have cults in Morocco. No?
I mean, we have the biggest cults on the planet.
The Christian church.
Christian church and the Muslim.
Yeah.
The organized
you can't
religion.
leave. This is the part that's really hard. Even though people don't practice, but you still have to be Muslim. You can't just say I don't want to be Muslim anymore. If you say it out loud, you get shunned, and you can get even physically
Okay, so
even
it
killed,
is a kind of
in some
cult.
Small village if you do that. It's not something that's easy to do. You can live your life the way you like. I know people who drink, who eat pork and don't fast, but it's all hidden. Like the not fasting, they cannot go outside and eat in the middle of Ramadan.
Even still in
Even
2025.
still, yeah, yeah, that's a big no. But I don't know. There are no cults. There's a lot of dysfunction.
You just described one.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Just countrywide.
yeah.
Okay. Yes, I guess that's why America's interesting, because there is this freedom to a certain extent to believe whatever you want, and then there's some really crazy things you can believe, and some people do, and so we get those stories of these smaller cults.
Yeah, very patriarchal society. Like still now, women are fighting so hard for their rights. Like just the right of when you divorce, you don't get thrown out of the house where you lived for 30 years. Some women get thrown out of their houses. Imagine you get divorced and you have nothing. You've been a mom housewife your whole life, and then you get divorced and then you get out with your suitcase, and
That's it.
that's it.
There's no like, I'll see you in court.
Well, now stuff is changing, but very slowly, like really slowly. Like still, and because now women can ask for divorce. If you ask for divorce, you go out with nothing. If he divorces you, he has to give you some stuff. But no man wants to divorce now. He will make your life hell, and he won't divorce you. So you'll have to ask for divorce.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's still the way the law is
But
written.
now there's a law that's going, like they're fighting so hard for these things to change. So it's still debatable. Like it's still sitting. The law is still sitting. We don't know if it's gonna get approved or not. So yeah, women are still suffering a lot in those countries.
And there are much worse countries.
It's like if you have a kid outside of a marriage, the kid is a bastard. He doesn't get a name. He doesn't get paperwork. Like it's just so hard. Like it's some women, they just leave their baby at the orphanage or like in a trash can or something. So because it's so
The shame of
yeah.
yeah. Wow.
And these kids, they pay the price. Like imagine you grow up without your dad's name, your father, and the mother cannot give the name. It's just a weird situation. If the guy doesn't want to marry you, you're fucked.
What
basically.
happens? So you have
If
if
you-
you have no family name,
They
you just
kinda
have a
consider
low-level
the
job.
No name kind of they don't have papers. Like they go out either the streets or an orphanage will take them, and
does someone like this get married ever, or are they just forever single man, or does it create like an underclass of
I don't
people?
know. I have no idea. Seriously, I don't know. It's just they just call them bastards. It's just a bad situation. Yeah, I don't think they. If somebody who is really good-hearted can adopt them, but even when they're adopted, you cannot give them your name. Adoption laws in Islam are very tough. You can never give somebody your name if you adopt him. It's still not considered your kid. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we take a lot for granted.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see people who are like recognizing, the quote unquote evils of feminism and want to go back to a time. It's like, it's just like there's.
Women are still, in some countries, women are still trying, really struggling hard. The double standards, like men are allowed to do whatever they want, and women are still like if a woman reaches 30 and not married, they have a very horrible name. They call them in Morocco. There's a name for women who are not married, like old maiden, but it's a very ugly word. Like, yeah.
What do you say?
It's called Baira. Baira means like your expiration date is done. Yeah,
It's like expired.
you're expired, babe. Yeah.
That is harsh.
But yeah, it's really harsh. I think things are a little bit changing, like a little, like you can see, like especially now women are more educated and they work, they earn money. A lot of them they don't want to get married now. They see how marriage is, and
And
they
how
say,
hard it is to get
yeah,
out
and
of.
yeah, and they feel like it's not worth it. Men are not catching up.
Yeah, I feel like now while the women are rising, it's freaking out the man.
Because men in Morocco are very old-fashioned. They want a wife who cooks and cleans that and works and takes care of the kids. And he comes home and he puts his legs
Very
on the
progressive.
and waits for her to feed him and clean his dirty underwear and all this stuff. And he'll beat her up a couple of times just to make her go back to normal.
Keep her in line.
Yeah, keep her in line, and goes and get drunk with his buddies, and it's just still.
What's
same.
the maid situation in Morocco?
The maid?
Yeah, do a lot of like, well, let's say
Yeah, there's a lot of maids.
there's a lot of
Yeah,
maids,
yeah.
right? But
Lot-
doesn't that change
Like housekeepers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we call them maids. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you'd use the expression old maid. I just want to make sure I
No,
was
it's
understanding.
not. Well, like cleaning ladies or something.
yeah.
Well,
That's
the
valid.
situation has changed. Before,
maids.
people used to, there was a lot of abuse because they were like 10-year-old, 12-year-olds, like from poor families. So the parents, they bring you the kids, like, she's can clean and take care of your baby or whatever.
Yes.
So you have a 12-year-old taking care of a baby. She's still a baby. Cleaning, and she goes and fetch
Yes,
stuff from the grocery store. They're paid like maybe 50, I don't know, $50 max a month. Like
Nothing.
nothing. So they feed her. She sleeps in the kitchen or something. It's just horrible. But there was a movement. There's always like some organization that starts something in Morocco. It's like there was a movement against children being used, and there's a law now that now women who want to work as clean ladies, they know their rights. They start asking for better salaries. They ask for health insurance, because we have that some and minimum salary and stuff. So now, well, at least in the big cities, it's better. It's the situation, because they used to beat them and all. They had really horrible stories about people beating their maids, and yeah.
I mean, yes. I come from in Lebanon. It's
Oh, in Saudi and Dubai is
yeah,
worse.
yeah. The Gulf.
Oh, the
they're
Gulf people are
savages.
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 They beat the crap out of their help. Seriously, men and women. Like if they have a gardener or a driver,
They really
Oh.
see them like as
like an animal, like lol, whatever, not
Another-
human.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. Huh?
yeah.
Yeah. But the reason I brought it up that this whole housekeeper situation is because it changes the dynamic in couples. Like let's say you were describing like a Moroccan couple. That the guy wants his wife to be like a super woman at home, and then to go work, to be a modern woman, to be a like an traditional
Boss
woman,
babe.
a boss. Yeah, like
Everything.
all the fantasy.
Yeah, yeah.
Every
All the
fantasy is
masks.
like. And but then the whole thing came in with the housekeeper, because in Lebanon I witnessed that kind of dynamic where that expectation was from the man. Like the man was allowed anything, to be anything and everywhere, but the women, it was pretty specific. You had to be like first of all, it didn't matter which class it was, so it just was increased with the money, like just the standard would increase. But it was kind of like the whole population abides to this, where the woman is supposed to always be like well
Totally
taken care
coiffed.
of, yeah, like always groomed, you know, or else you're not being a good woman to your husband. So you have to be always groomed, you have to look good, and you have to work, but you also have to entertain. You also have to know how to host, so he can bring his people, his friends, his thing. You know what I mean? It's not even about like bringing, because the maid is doing all the work, but you have to be the boss of the
Both
maid.
of the maid.
So you have to
yeah.
manage,
food,
It's like if the maid
whole-
has to just cut the vegetables and put the stuff on the table, but you are managing that maid.
Still a lot of work to
Yeah,
put on a
lot of
party.
Oh
work.
yeah. So, but it's like an instant, and then like when all this is done, she has to be like this, probably whatever his fantasy is in bed, like switch that role on. Anyway, now I was just thinking, how the
While
housekeeper
he
though
only
puts
has
that
to
pressure.
be
Although you think a housekeeper
An
makes
asshole. That's all he has to
yeah, of course, or else he's not a real man.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's not an asshole, he's not loud. He doesn't have like that pushy personality.
Yeah, and order her out and
Yeah.
belittle her. One time I was in Morocco, but that was a long time ago, like maybe over 30 years ago. I was, that was in Morocco. I was with my sister and in a car, and there was a guy who's beating the crap out of a woman in in his car. And there was a policeman, and I went to, I was like, he is beating the woman, and he's like, that's my wife. It was like it's like I have all the rights because it's my wife. So leave me. And the policeman just left.
It's his wife.
His wife. Sorry, I can't do nothing. Yeah, for real. Yeah.
I'm a very good ambassador for Morocco, by the way. But it's a beautiful country with a lot of culture.
It's funny you say that. I was thinking today about a time in school where a father, right, came in and spanked, bare-butted, belt a kid in front of the whole class.
Oh no! In in your community?
Oh yeah, hitting your kids was highly encouraged. Like I don't remember much, but I do remember the minister berating parents, like if they weren't going on hard enough. Like, you're gonna let them get away with that? Like that kind of.
Oh,
Yeah. No.
Were you?
Yeah, I was hit a lot.
a lot. By your mom
Yeah.
or your both?
Yeah.
Mostly your mom.
My mom. She did.
They
most-
spend more time with
yeah,
the
with
kids.
the kids. Yeah. No, my dad's. He's not prone. That's not his first instinct to hit, especially kids. So no, that was hard. I think for him to try to model that kind of. Anyway, no, it's funny because that crossed my mind today. This experience, like, I mean, it was terrifying for the kid for sure, but even as someone having to witness it, like that was a hard thing.
Yeah, of course.
And just like I felt so bad for that kid, and just and this idea of like parent, and the teacher was in there too, so there was another adult fully witnessing this.
Oh my
But like, how
God.
traumatized of a parent do you have to be to feel like you need to discipline your child in such a humiliating way, full of rage? Like my memory is, I could be wrong. My memory's not great, but I perceived a lot of rage because, like, how else would you go and do?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's funny you talk about beating because that memory crossed my mind today. I was like, oof, that's. I hope that stuff doesn't happen anymore. I mean, obviously,
Well, they still happening
Yeah.
everywhere, I'm sure.
but for you to see a woman getting beat up in a car, like,
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
But do you think nowadays it would be different? Like nowadays, if you were walking down the street in Morocco.
No, I don't think so. No, you
No,
can't. No, I don't think you can do that.
No, that's it.
It's
It
like
would be
there's
different.
a lot of laws now. Even
Right.
like catcalling, there's a law now because oh my God, women cannot walk in the street without being harassed. Like it's just insane. I was like going to college and not college, like high school. That walk, oh my God. It's like 15 minutes walk and it's nonstop, just harassment.
A girl with a backpack.
A girl with a backpack. Your ass, I want to do this to you. They just graphic shit that they want to do to you. And a guy used to expose himself to girls when they're going. He hide behind a tree. He comes out and he exposes.
The neighborhood flasher. Everyone knew about him.
Yeah, we just laugh at him and we just keep going. Just a man waiting for girls in their cars to pick them up. Like 50-year-old men who would come and wait when we all leave, and they pick up 16-year-old girls in their cars. Broad daylight in front of everyone.
No questions asked.
Insane.
Catcalled as a teenager. The few times I was catcalled, I was so happy. I felt so good. But I'm sure, having to do it all the time, I would.
Oh no, it's horrible. Like even like you're walking with your kids, so instead of just like saying something nasty, they have to talk to a woman. You cannot walk without having guys talking to you. Like just leave me alone. They would say, "Oh, you're a hot mom," or something like it's just like something, or like, "Oh, this kid is very lucky," or something like just weird stuff they will tell. Or like, "I'm walking with my mom. They stop praying for us." Like, what is you doing? Just leave us be. Like they can't like.
Oh right, even the old lady, they have something.
Yeah,
Older woman, they have
like,
something to say.
God bless your daughter, something like that. Just have to say they cannot leave women. They feel some kind of we owe them something. Like it's just we are there for their entertainment.
Exactly.
And they're just.
Did you ever see your dad catcall anyone?
No, my dad was not like that.
Okay, so it was a certain class of
No,
guy.
my dad, no, he was very respectful. Oh my God, that would be like the last thing he could. No, he was not. Yeah, it was a very low class kind of
think
thing.
it's
Like
generally
a
is.
street
Yeah.
guys who have no job. They just sell cigarettes in the street. It's just like they will steal your glasses or something. So yeah, this is the type of.
I think that's pretty universal, I imagine.
Yeah.
Has that gotten any better? You said it has. They
I
had
think
to pass
it
a law.
has. Last time I went, nobody talked to me in the street. Like I was like, oh, stuff. Yeah. No. There's
It's gotten better around here
gotten
too.
better
in
and
America.
safer and yeah.
Have you ever been catcalled by proxy? Like many times
What
I
do
would.
you mean by proxy?
Well, I would be out with my boyfriend/husband, and they would tell him how hot they found me.
Oh wow. No, they did.
Yeah, I think they needed
bad.
to
That
say
would have
something.
drove him crazy.
Well, no, because they were like, I think it was their way of being respectful to him. So it's like, because if they would catcall me directly, maybe he would find issue with that. But if they were complimenting him about how hot his yeah, again, it's like property.
But us, it would be like, let's say I'm with my Moroccan boyfriend. No man can come and tell him your girlfriend is hot. He would beat the crap out of him. Like it's like
Wouldn't take it as a compliment.
no. It's like no. You don't look at my girlfriend. You don't look at my wife. It's like very disrespectful. Yeah.
Don't even think about it. But they know they must, because they must look. You look at a woman, or you look at a guy, and imagine, even just innocently, like,
Yeah.
oh, that guy's, It's kind of hard to control, I find.
Yeah. Can I have a little bit? I have no idea how long we've been going, but I'm gonna look.
Should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
An
hour
not
and
as wild of a
24
weed
minutes.
episode as we thought it was
Yeah,
gonna be.
that time is not has stood still.
So how long?
124. So we call it
Yeah, we'll keep
Yeah.
talking after the
yeah. All right, babies. Love
ladies.
you.
Yes, I'm
This was
gonna-
fun.
That was really fun. It was fun.
I feel
Yeah.
like we have some stories. We did all the talking. We need you.
Yeah,
There's a few
we
stories
talked
you
more
started,
than-
and then we would get on. And I was just like, we never got back to
There's
you.
always the next time.
Okay,
There's
yeah.
always the next time.